It was a cold morning in San Francisco. The sky was gray, and soft rain fell on the empty streets. Car slowly stopped in front of a quiet building. Inside the car sat a woman and her aging parents. The building was called Silver Pines Senior Living. An old folks' home. Mom, Dad. This place is really good, Emily said, trying to sound cheerful. They have great nurses, doctors, everything you need. You'll be happy here. She said it like she was doing them a big favor. Linda looked out the window silently. George gently held his daughter's hand and asked, Emily, are we really a burden to you now? Emily looked away. Dad, it's not that. Just have a job. Sarah has school. I can't take care of everything. Linda's eyes filled with tears. We never saw you as a burden. Emily didn't hug them goodbye. She gave them a quick kiss and left. The door of the old home closed quietly, and so did a chapter of love. Months passed. Linda had stopped talking much. At night, George would whisper Emily's name in his sleep. A kind nurse named Helen took special care of them. But the hope in their eyes, that hope of seeing their daughter again, never faded. Emily's life continued. One day, while driving back from shopping with her daughter Sarah asked, Mom, why don't we ever visit Grandma and Grandpa? Emily was caught off guard. They're fine, honey. They're being taken care of. But Mom, Sarah replied, they took care of you, right? That question hit Emily like a knife, but she changed the subject. One evening Helen called. Emily, your mom hasn't eaten in 2 days. She barely speaks. Maybe, come visit. Emily sighed. I'm busy, Helen. I'll try next week. Helen didn't say anything, but something broke inside her too. That night Emily had a dream. She was in a dark room. There was a door and someone was banging on it. Emily, we raised you. Did you really shut the door on us? It was her father's voice. Emily screamed, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. The door opened, and Linda's lifeless body fell to the floor. Emily woke up crying. The next morning the phone rang. Emily, your mother passed away in her sleep. The phone slipped from her hand. She rushed to the old home. George was sitting quietly, staring out the window. Emily looked at her mother's face. Her eyes were closed, but the expression asked one final question. Will my daughter ever forgive me? 2 days later, Emily offered to bring George home with her. But George softly said, No, Emily. This is my home now. You can't just remember us when we're dying. Emily broke down in tears. For the first time she held her father's hands. The same hands that once carried her as a child. Papa, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. George looked at her. The emptiness in your mother's eyes in her final days. Emily, that can never be filled, never. Weeks went by. Emily began visiting every week. George remained quiet, but he listened. One day, Helen handed her a letter. Linda's final words. Dear Emily, maybe you left us because life got busy, but our love for you never changed. Parents don't complain. They just break, silently. If I ever meant anything to you, hold your daughter close every day. And promise me, you'll never leave her behind the way you left us. Love always. Emily sat on the same bench near the same door, the one she walked away from all those years ago. The door was still there, still quiet, still closed. Years later, in that same San Francisco neighborhood, the Silver Pines Senior Living building stood, older now. Its walls were faded, new carpet on the floor, but the door, still the same silent door. And that door opened again, this time for an old woman named Emily Williams. Her hair was completely white. Her eyes still had light, but her steps were tired. and her heart had been broken long ago. Helen had long retired. A young nurse named Megan greeted her. "What's your name, ma'am?" "Emily. Emily Williams," she whispered, looking around the room. Every chair, every corner, every wall took her back in time. This was the same place where she once left her parents. And now, her son Daniel had left her. 1 week earlier. "Mom, I have 3 kids. I can't manage your meds and appointments. This place is safe. You'll be fine." Emily held his hand, just like George once held hers. "Daniel, I never left you alone. I know, and I'm grateful. But times are different now." Emily didn't reply. She just watched the quiet door close, the same way she once closed it for her parents. That first night, Emily couldn't sleep. The ticking clock on the wall sounded like Linda's voice. "Emily, did you become just like us?" Tears rolled down her face. She picked up her cane, walked to the garden, and sat on the same bench where George used to sit. She saw everything in her mind. The goodbye, her mother's silent eyes, her father's trembling hands, and that door that never opened again. One day Megan asked, "Emily, you're always quiet. Do you want to talk?" Emily nodded slowly. "Can I tell you a story?" Megan pulled a chair close. Emily took a deep breath. "I left my parents here. My mother grew silent. My father waited for me every day. I called their love a burden. In their final days, they had a nurse, not a daughter. And now, I'm here. My son says he's busy. And now I understand. A child's time is like a rented room, never permanent." Megan's eyes filled with tears. Weeks passed. Emily often heard voices in her sleep, George and Linda calling, "Emily, is this what we taught you?" One day she looked in the mirror and saw her mother's face staring back. She had become the very woman she once left behind. Then one day Daniel visited. "Hi Mom, just checking in. Can't stay long." Emily asked softly, "Daniel, am I a burden now?" Daniel looked down. "Mom, it's just hard. Life's not easy anymore." Emily replied, "Life was never easy, but we still held you close. Now my heart still beats, but it doesn't feel alive. Sometimes I think, I already died long ago." Daniel couldn't look her in the eyes. On her final night, Emily told Megan, "If I'm not here tomorrow, please do one thing. In my suitcase, there's an old photo of me with my parents. Place it on my chest." "You're not going anywhere," Megan said. Emily smiled faintly. "I already did, years ago, when I left them here." The next morning, no light came from Emily's room. Megan walked in. Emily was lying peacefully, holding her mother's photo close to her heart. Her face looked calm, and the door, like always, stayed quiet. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever felt the silence of someone you love, then please subscribe to Heal and Hold. We bring you stories that speak what words often can't, because sometimes healing starts with simply being heard. Like a share, a subscribe. It might just reach someone who needs it the most. Thank you for listening with your heart.